Hello, a warm and luminous welcome to all of you seekers of this world, seekers of the real self. I am Ariana, the host of this YouTube channel, the Golden Thread Sanctuary. Today, this video, I want to dedicate it to three very powerful forces. I call it the powerful trio that can help us to both transition and stay in whichever path we choose, that powerful they are. These three forces are awareness, intention, and attention. Before we get into the discussion or the conversation about this, which is a very important topic, I would like to introduce you to a man very generous of heart and very sweet. His name is Elisa. He is my initiator on the Akashic records and my present mentor on the Akashic realms. So I will allow him to introduce himself, and all through my video I will weave his presentation. Why have I asked him to contribute to this video? Is because although I can channel my own Akashic records, I still don't do public Akashic channeling. And he is very good at this. He's a wonderful person. So he will introduce himself and we will continue through this video as we touch each of those three forces that I mentioned to you. I will express myself, my thoughts, and I will exchange with you what I want to exchange, and I will interweave with my golden thread the channeling produced by Elisa.
Hello, my name is Elisa, and Ariana from the GoldenThreadSanctuary. She asked me to have a little Akashic channel. Now, I love to channel the Akashic records. I love to teach how to channel the Akashic records. And this is a little sneak peek. I opened the Akashic records of awareness, of intention, and of attention, like opening three books in a library in a way. And I'm gonna ask the question, how can we best use these things to live our best lives? And I'm going to ask this question internally, and after that information will just start flowing, and the only thing I have to do is to surrender and relax. So I have no clue what they're going to say, but this is going to be a little channel from those records. I hope you enjoy.
No matter which path we are choosing to trod into, no matter where we set our intention into, no matter what direction we're going to move our life into, these three forces are going to be needed. We are going to benefit from having them on our side, both in our inner world and in the display of our outer world. These are very general things, and I'm trying to be as precise and concrete as I can. There will be other programs based on this or more specific topics, and for sure, check on my meditation that will accompany this program as well. You will see the link somewhere in one of the screens or in the description box of this message. But before I continue getting into the specific aspects of these three powerful forces, I would like to cover a few general aspects so we understand each other a little bit better. So the real self, the real you, the real me, is not this body or this mind that we carry into this incarnation. And yeah, I know, I might lose you right now, but that's fine. If you stay, then you will get a little bit more of a sense why am I talking about these things. For instance, we're going to talk about awareness, intention, and attention. Can you touch them? Can you pinpoint them? No. The same with our real self. Our essence is not something we can touch as easily as the body. It's not even something as easy to grasp as a thought that crosses our mind, but still is there. We still have awareness, we still have intention, we still have attention. Okay, so having said that, I have to say one more thing. There's a big tapestry of things that is, let's say, the larger point of everything, the camera with the widest possible angle of perspective, and that is the Akasha, the ether, where everything is registered, the Holy Spirit for the Christians of this world. So, from the perspective of the Akasha, all is possible, and all is to be manifested. By whom? By each of us. But now here's where everything becomes a little bit more touchy of concepts and things that we need to evaluate when we choose which way to walk our paths. Who is choosing? So we had a conversation very briefly, and I will do another one more detail about the ego, what seems to be us, and the real us. All the time we are balancing our ego with our real self. Even although you might have never posed this question in your mind, you do have a real self. And once you become aware of it and you want to move your life around your real self, the whole game changes here. I'm talking about a big quantum leap that can change your life completely. So if you're ready, please join me. I'm very happy to walk this path with you. And as we walk, I will touch into these concepts and why are they important to us to grasp and to apply into every decision that we do. I'm very glad to be here with you.
Within each of us, three powerful resources reside: awareness, intention, and attention. These are the gifts of our real self, the limitless and interconnected essence of who we truly are. When aligned, they guide us through life as conscious creators, shaping our experiences with clarity and purpose. In contrast, when dominated by the ego, our focus scatters, and we perceive life as fragmented, disconnected, and limited.
No matter which path we choose or how to decide to walk through the path, we're going to get into that. It is important to understand that one thing has to be clear for us. Love is the way. It is always the way. It will always be the way. Even although sometimes we see in our outer reality that doesn't seem the case. So the lack of love expressed as all sorts of conflicts, we're very familiar with that into the world. But in truth, we are creating our reality. Each of us, those who create conflict, those who create love. But we live into a context of a collective in this expression, in the physical dimension, and no, we are not exempted from what is happening in the collective. But on the other hand, we do have a tremendous power, the power of our decision on what to put our intention to and our attention into. If love is the way, then what is the point of awareness? What is the point of intention? What is the point of attention? Awareness is larger than us. It's larger than our mind. It's larger than our attention. We are awareness. Inside what we are, that essence that we are, is pure awareness. So if we want to touch base with the real us, we have to come from a point of awareness. And because we are having an experience of limitation, and so far we have identified fully with this body and this mind and the emotions that the thoughts produce in our interaction with the world, we think that this is who we are. We think. Awareness doesn't think. Awareness is. the same way that our real self is. That is it. And it is in every present moment. No concept of the past or the future, whichever way it is in videos, because the camera turns around.
Awareness, then, is the doorway to transformation. The present moment is the only reality where all power, all change, and all creation can unfold. The constant mind game towards the memories of the past or towards future projections full of judgments and our small little boxes of understanding are but disempowering and noisy distractions to our journey of life. Only now holds the true potential for alchemy. Yet the mind often drifts, roaming through past experience or projecting into imagined futures, as I just said. And when awareness is lost, the breath is what becomes our sacred anchor. The breath becomes the bridge between the seen and the unseen. The essence of life itself, prana, chi, the Holy Spirit, life force, whichever way you want to call it, is when returning to the breath that we are back into presence, restoring clarity and inner stillness in favor of our awareness.
Awareness creates the main vessel. Awareness can expand and contract based on how much life force is running through the vessel. That's why currently you cannot be aware of something. Some of you listening are, for example, not aware of the amount of life force that is running through your system. But by meditation or any other awareness practices, you will expand this container, and at one point you will feel and perceive things that are simply couldn't have been perceived before. As soon as that expansion happens, an increase of life force happens, and you become more aware of what is running inside of your field. This is an incredibly beautiful experience, but when awareness grows too quick, it can also be very uncomfortable. Awareness needs to be grown in gradual amounts to have the most fluent experience. Just like growing muscle in the gym. So take consistent action in the growing of awareness, and you will have many eureka moments, many insights, and a very beautiful, blissful growth journey.
Let's move on now towards the second powerful force, intention.
So this business of the intention is a bit subtle and complicated, because intention is the compass of the soul. The soul is your real self, is your real you, is my real me. One tricky thing about intention is that although awareness happens only through the present moment, intention means that we intend to do something that is not happening on the present moment. But how does that happen? I mean, I already said that there is no future, there is no past. So how come we can have an intention placed on a future moment? Because although there's the present moment continuously, the present moment continues unfolding. So I think the best way to look at intention is as wanted unfoldings. I might have invented a term here. So we sort of go for something that we want. At the present moment, we don't have. This is why we intend to have that with us. So we use that as the compass to say, in which direction do I want to move now? What is it that I want to do that is coming from my inner being, from my real self, this needs to be manifested. I want to create this. And then intention is going to help us to figure out which path is going to take us there. I hope I am starting to make a little bit more of sense.
I want to say a few more things about intention. Intention is the force that shapes our destiny. It is the seed of all creation. It is the energy behind every goal, every desire, and every decision that we make. Though intention naturally points towards the future, it must be harnessed and nurtured in the now, as I just explained. When we set an intention with conscious awareness, we align with our highest path, but it has to be conscious. On the other hand, when we set intentions unconsciously, driven by fear, conditioning, or external influences, we may find ourselves walking a path that does not truly serve us. True intention arises from within, guided by love and the deep knowing of our real self. Whether we are conscious or unconscious, we are creating the ripples of our reality. Think about it. Isn't it best to choose with conscious intention then?
Intention is another big life force expanding quality of your life. Intention truly directs your focus, and there are many things in your system and in your mind responding on intention. For example, if you move into a meeting or a conversation with the feeling it's going to be great to see this person or group of people, you will have a completely different body and mind composition than if you go through that meeting or conversation dreading and fearing the outcome of what might need to be discussed. That's how much intention focuses your life force. And by you taking back the control of your intention and to intend gracefully every time you step into some kind of action or some kind of new environment or start some kind of project, your life force will greatly tune into that shape and will greatly help you. A project that started with the intention to help millions is going to be a different journey than a project with the intention, this is never going to work, but let's try. Both of these projects will have a completely different life force behind them. It's easy to notice, but what humans need to be reminded of is that your physicality and your mentality and your emotional well-being and your hormones, your complete composition as a being changes based on the intention. So for you to take back control of the intention, you take back control over your mentality, over your life force, over your body composition, and all the other things that we have been mentioning. Now, the best way that we know of in the human realm to take control is to let your intention be a conscious precursor to everything you do. Because you're always intending something, but not always intending consciously something. And start with the simple things we would suggest. By setting your intention like that, your whole system responds. And it's a great way to take back a lot of things that you previously have felt had no control over. You actually take back by starting to run and create and set your intentions consciously.
Now we can move on to the third powerful force, attention. Attention is the key to stay aligned, the key to stay in the chosen path.
Here's one more thing I want to touch very lightly, and I will certainly come back to it in future videos. Because we live in the space-time dimension, there is a delay, almost as if walking through water, when we walk through water, or when we submerge ourselves inside water in the sea, and we hear the noises distorted. So time is a sort of distortion that we have when expressed in this reality, not in the soul. Within your real self, there's no time. So there is no anguish, there is no problem about this and that later, or it's always the present moment. And I understand that we don't perceive it that way as we're looking through our body and our mind, which is what most of us do. We perceive everything. We're completely identified with this body and the mind that exercises everything that we think or believe to think. So why I'm saying this about the delay, coming back to the intention, it occurred to me that I wanted to mention this as well. If in your soul you intend something is happening right at the moment, but our soul is experiencing limitation, is experiencing delay on purpose because it's quite challenging to live in this dimension where everything has a delay. So, to understand why it's so important to choose a good path and to set up our intention is actually not so much for the soul. The soul already knows the end manifestation of what is it that we want in an instant. You go to your inner sanctuary, you can feel it full force. But it's in this outer reality that we get the distortion of time. And because of that, we need our awareness and we need our attention full force in what we have decided to intend. I hope this makes it even a teeny bit clearer. Well, I will come back to this later because I know this is something that will show up over and over and over, and it doesn't even matter which path we have chosen to walk together.
So if intention is the compass of the soul, then our attention is the key to stay in alignment to the path we have chosen, to that we wish and desire to manifest. So then attention is the force that keeps us on course. It is the conscious act of devotion to our chosen path, to that we wish to manifest and make reality. Where we direct our attention determines what grows in our reality. This is how important it is to harness our attention. I want to mention here a crucial distinction. Focusing outwards means seeing the world through the ego's lens, fragmented, separate, and perceived through personal limitations, the lenses of the Enneagram. It also means that we are evaluating or responding to what we have already created or manifested. We are never going to create anything by focusing outward. Focusing inward means connecting to the limitless life force within, where all creativity, wisdom, and power originates. Keeping our attention inward, within, is key then to manifest from our real self, is key for creation, is key for freedom and liberation from the matrix. Attention inward fuels our conscious creation, while attention outward, when uncontrolled, leads to constant distraction and misalignments. When we find ourselves lost again, the breath is our guide. Let us remember that. By returning our attention to the breath, the ever-present rhythm of life, we realign with our true path, moment by moment.
Then there is attention. And attention is, in our opinion, the least powerful of the three, but nevertheless very powerful. And in human terms, it's actually the most powerful at this moment. Your attention became more valuable than your oil or your gold on your planet. Now, what does that mean? That means that there are companies buying millions of dollars of personal data purely based on where your attention is at and how your behavior when it comes to attention in the digital realm is. And attention is one of the great life force givers. What if you want to learn something, but you never got to learn it, and you feel a little bit regretful that you never learned it? Now, what if we say to you that if you have put only 20 hours of your attention on that thing you wanted to learn, you would actually already be pretty good and above average in that thing. Only 20 hours? Yes, only 20 hours. And if you feel 20 hours is too much, it's only 1 hour a day for 20 days or a half an hour a day for 40 days. Imagine that. That's how powerful attention is. And by doing so, you will create a way better life for yourself. So by taking back control of your attention, it means you take dominion over the distraction in your life, but also the traction in your life. What starts to develop in your life? Now here is the biggest thing on all of this, and it completes the circle. If you place your attention on your awareness with the intention of love, you will have one of the greatest keys of a perfect life inside of your hands. So let us repeat this. If you place your attention, the 20 hours, for example, we talked about, on your own awareness, you as a being, and you start to observe your own awareness with the intention of love, you will have one of the biggest keys of life success in your hands. You cannot feel depressed or horrible if you placed 20 hours of loving attention on your own awareness. Everything that makes you feel miserable or sad or disgusted or helpless or hopeless will have disappeared completely just by placing your loving attention on your own awareness.
Here's our true challenge as I see it, to keep ourselves consciously dancing at the top of the balance during our journey. We must keep our intention and attention into our inner world, the originator of our life force, or chi, or prana. Awareness is all-encompassing. Awareness can look both ways, outwards and inwards, and will help us navigate wonderfully in any direction. Intention and attention, on the other hand, are expressed through our minds, which is a more limited instrument by nature.
Although I have mentioned this before, here we go one more time. Attention keeps us aligned to what we intended to do and to stay on the path that we have chosen. But we have to keep one thing in mind. We are constantly bombarded by things that attract our attention. This is where awareness becomes the most important thing. So if we have chosen to go in one direction and we are constantly receiving interference, can we come back to the point where we were? Or are we going to deviate, constantly deviate, and never remember that we actually were working in this direction and we'll completely go that way? So this is where attention is crucial. And after having done this for now quite a few years, I want to touch one more thing. It is important to be aware and to keep our attention like from our inner being to the world, to the outside world that is surrounding us, the one that we're creating on every moment. But it's equally important to have our attention inwards, inside our inner sanctuary, where our real self lives comfortably. And everything is always clear, always loving inside the inner sanctuary. So I know this is a bit hard to understand right now, but as we walk more of this together, you will experience it, which matters more than any of the words that I can say here. So what is it that you're going to experience? That your inner world creates the outer world. Now, at the moment, you might have not been conscious of that. Your outer world is still being created, whether you're conscious or not, whether you have the intention or not. So what we try to do when we kind of center and power ourselves into our real self is to create with intention, to create the world that we want, the life that we want, the force that we want to bring out into this world. Because we all have it. We all came with a set of talents and gifts. And most of us, sad to say, but is the reality of our existence, are not using our gifts and talents to create. And all of that has to do with where are we coming from? Are we coming from what we seem we are, which is the ego? Or are we coming from who we really are?
I would like to briefly come back again to two aspects that I mentioned before. The first one is the difference between the journey and the destination and the meaning of all of it. The path we walk is our greatest masterpiece. Let's not forget that. Manifestations serve as both the compass and the result, but the essence of life lies on how we move through it all. When we embrace awareness, when we set our intentions with love and direct our attention with purpose, we become the architects of our own divine journey. Freedom is accomplished. The second aspect I wanted to touch base again one last time is about the great tapestry of continuous unfolding. Because beyond our individual journey lies the great tapestry of existence, the Akasha, the ether, the vast record held within our subconscious and beyond. It's magnificent. Everything we experience, every choice we make adds an imprint to this ever-unfolding creation. We can engage with this tapestry passively, observing what has already unfolded, or we can actively weave into it through gifts and talents of our real self. It's easy to see which one will be the best choice for each of us. Through the free will of our choices, we do not simply walk a predetermined path. We co-create with existence itself, with the Creator itself. Whether aware or not, we're always adding to the grand design, shaping reality with every breath, with every intention, and every moment of attention that we harness.
A heartfelt thank you to Philip and Elisa from the Akashic Record Schools for all of this beautiful channeling from the Akasha. Share all through this video. I would like to say this one more time because it's so important for each of us. Love is the way. Our awareness springs from our life force, from the essence of our real self. And when we consciously touch into that awareness, we will know what is it that we want to manifest, to make into reality. And with the use of both our intention and our attention, we will be unstoppable from creating what we really want to create into this world. As I mentioned through this video, the intention will choose the path, and the attention will keep us on the path, avoiding all sorts of distractions, or recognizing through awareness again if we have got distracted or strayed from the path. I hope this all makes it now a little bit clearer after so much to and fro through this channel. I find all of this extremely fascinating. There will be many paths that we will discover together. As I have mentioned before, I'm a very busy musician myself. This is my passion. So I don't know when the next video is going to come, but I know I want to make these videos. So stay tuned. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, make a comment, share the video with other people so that we have more people engaged with creating the life that they really want to create. May we walk then with full presence, with full awareness. May we walk with chosen intention. May we keep our attention in what we have chosen to manifest in this our present life, in this universe. And may we do any walk that we decide to do in love, with love, and through love. Lots of love.